Start with it's basically a separated egg sponge. So I got 4 eggs. I already split them up. I've got the whites over here for meringue. I got the yolks over here.
You're not yoking around, are you?
It's gonna go with sugar. I'm gonna whip it until it's light in color and thick in texture.
Sorry. Okay.
So this is another way you can see ribbon stage being talked about and presented. You with me? All right. Whisk this over heat. I'm gonna do it the risky way by whipping it over a direct flame. You guys can do it over bain-marie if you want. That's fine. Be aware if you do it on a direct flame, it's a thin metal bowl. It'll heat up really quickly. So you want to take it to the heat and take it away once in a while, so just cook your egg. Gently heat it up. So whenever you got sugar and eggs together, make sure you whisk them immediately. What happens if you don't? If it just sits there, sugar and egg. What? Cooks it? Okay, sugar's gonna draw moisture out of the egg yolk, you get little hard granules you won't get rid of. So if you combine them, make sure you whisk them right away. So we want light in color, thick in texture, so for consistency. So what I like to do is, yeah, so many details. Oh my god. Give me an empty bowl, please, somebody. Oh, thank you. When you're doing items, whisking items anyway in a bowl, I like to do what I call put it in the corner of the bowl, which means tilt the bowl and have everything kind of flow in one pocket. So you're not holding it flat and chasing it around the bowl. You're just going to whisk it in one localized area. It'll save time. You'll get all the product works right there. So like I said, chasing it around. So make sure you tilt it in the corner of the bowl. So what I'm going to do over here. Again, open flame, it's going to be a little bit faster, but definitely riskier. So if you're willing to hold it there for, I don't know, 40, 45 seconds maybe, and then pull it away, let it cool off a little bit, but keep whisking it and then bring it back. Don't set it down and walk away. This is your leavening, or a large part of it. The other parts of the meringue I'm going to make in a bit. So, ribbon stage. That's one thing this is known as. The other one is Savaillon. S-A-V-A-Y-O-N. Savaillon. That's the French name. All that is, there's an extra ingredient for that. All that is egg yolk, sugar, and some kind of liqueur. And it is considered a sauce, so if you think about it, or if you want to do it on your menu project or for a buffet or something, you can make this as a sauce and drizzle it over something. So it's basically pasteurized, you're heating it, egg yolk, sugar, whipped with liqueur of some kind to flavor it. So it's a classic sauce in the pastry world. So it's getting a little bit lighter, not quite where I want it to be. I want to get a lot more air into it, but something else you're trying to avoid is any dry spots. So maybe this gets so hot that it cooks the egg yolk like up high on the sides here, and it sticks. Try not to scrape it down into the bowl, because that will show up in your finished lady finger. So try to scrape it down into the corner and keep it in one spot if you can. I mean, almost inevitably it's going to travel a little bit, but try not to scorch it in here and cook anything. If you get it cooked, get it away from the heat a little bit. This will give you some monster forearms, so be careful. Yeah, you hot light over there. Anyway, the thicker the better. What I like to call ladyfingers is sweet Cheetos. Cheetos because they should hold their shape when you pipe them out and look like not the crunchy ones, the puffy ones. So that's what they should look like. So we want to aerate this quite a bit. We want to aerate the meringue just enough to firm peak, and then gently fold it or dry, and then pipe it out. But it should be really thick, so do a good job getting this light in color and thickness texture. It requires a little bit of heat. Again, bain-marie is fine. It'll take longer for bain-marie, but you can do it.
Oh, she knows now.
Me too.
Do you care which way we do it? Do you want us to do it over a bain-marie or do you want us to do it that way?
Whatever you feel comfortable with. Doesn't matter to me. As long as you don't burn your egg.
Or your hands.
That's gonna get warm before it again.
Alright, so I'm going to stop with this for right now. I'll come back to it. It's pretty much there. But again, really light in color compared to how it started, so make sure you whip that enough. I want to get my meringue going. And then, as that's about done, I'll kind of whip that up a little bit more and then start combining everything. So, warm whites whip better than cold whites. Right?
Correct.
Alright, so make sure your whites are warm. What happens if you got fat in the bowl or on the whisk?
Cook off.
Good job. So it'll get some. Who's seen that, by the way? Who's seen that happen? Not yet? Alright, be aware. It'll get foamy, but it'll never build volume, so be aware of that. It'll start out looking okay, but eventually it won't go any further. So if that's the case, you probably have some fat in there somewhere. And you have to start over. So we're taking these warm whites to a soft peak. And then we're going to add a pinch of salt to it. Real quick. Here's my 5 1/4 inch diameter round. I'm going to pipe that circular base, and then a couple of these 3 inch long fingers I drew out. That's on the back of the parchment. We don't want tattooed products. Make sure on one side is the ink, the other side is the product. So I just took a ruler and kind of sketched out points. It doesn't have to be dead on. What we'll do is actually trim the edges of this base with our knife before we use it. So it doesn't have to be exactly 5 1/4, but close enough. Alright. Just join up those connected dots. However you want to do it. Alright, so we got soft peak, salt's going in. Yeah? Oh, I'm over here. So sugar's going in. Just a little bit at a time. We take this to firm peak. And then fold it into that egg yolk mixture. Again, like any meringue, I'll stop this and scrape the sides down with the whisk because you get sugar that's not going into where you want it to go. So make sure it goes down in there. Alright. So again, speed 5 on that, I think I mentioned that. Speed 5, just want to build a stable foam. Tips, one of the plain tip. I've got an 806 here. 805 works too. Don't go any bigger than 806 because you might run out of batter too soon. So I might be wrong about this, but you want about 2 dozen ladyfingers and the base. So we'll pipe the base first, and then whatever's left over in the back we'll pipe out the fingers. But you want to try for about 2 dozen. So you can kind of pick and choose the best looking ones because they're going to line the outside of the form. You guys remember seeing that from last class? Maybe? Okay. So you kind of pick and choose. 2 dozen.
Just want to kind of make them stay
Oh, hey. Sorry. Nope, back here.
You got friends.
You don't want it to cover your pretty face, do you?
Oh.
So if you haven't noticed, there's no chemical leavener in this. It's all about the egg. Whipping in as much as possible, so the yolk on its own and the whites on their own. And you gotta be careful when you handle it too, so you get that puff, that big puff on it. Once I crack these out, I'm gonna dust them pretty liberally with powdered sugar. Okay, so I'll do that, but because they are basically a sponge cake, it's really light, airy batter. They won't take very long to bake, and they're also baked at a higher temp, so 375 on these guys, and I'll check them in about 7 minutes. You want them baked so they aren't raw, which will mean very light color. So they'll be done in 10 minutes on the latest, probably about 8.5, 9 minutes, but they'll definitely be done. But they won't take very long at all, so keep an eye on them. If you go into convection with it, it'll take even less time. So you might be done in maybe 7 minutes on the convection. So we're almost there for the first peak. So here you can see I was careful with this, but I got some dried egg yolks, so it didn't really get, I don't know, it didn't get hot from the flame, I don't think, or maybe it did. Sometimes it'll be just a thin layer, nothing, it'll just dry and stick, so try not to scrape that down the end. So we'll put the meringue in here, fold it, and as I do that, I'm not going to put too much pressure on that top half of the bowl. If you get a lot of that, or not, you can transfer this to a separate clean bowl if you want before the meringue goes in, so you're a little safer that way. Just enough of a sample to get a good look at it. Not quite. Notice that I give it a stir before I test it. Sometimes you get separate layers within the meringue itself. The top will be a little more whipped than the very bottom. It's not quite getting all hidden on the bottom necessarily. So I'll get a little stir and then test it. So I'm gonna be really careful when I fold in this bowl so I don't get any of that yolk in there, that dried yolk. No bubbles. 10 minutes. You guys got a timer going?
Timer.
Nice.
For peak. So again, not tapping this on the bowl, I'm gonna do that on my hand. Alright, so meringue goes into the yolks. Let me get this whipped up a little bit more again. So this should get pretty thick. Again, all this is 1 egg, well not 1 egg, 4 eggs and some sugar. You get a lot of volume out of an egg and some sugar. So we can go for some even color, the same folding technique. You want the rounded edge in the bottom, center of the bowl, scrape the side, rotate the bowl. Lose track, lose your grip, and then mess it up. So you're gonna draw small circles, don't forget that part, and then you scrape the side down, but you're very careful not to get those bits in there. So it's pretty thick right now, but it'll get thicker with the dry. So about to the point we're gonna add the dry. So sit this in all at once. And then look for sweet Cheetos. Don't forget that right now. Sweet Cheetos. light pressure. On the side. Whoa. 8 bits. Almost there. We got some dry pockets here and there, but I'll put this in the bag and pipe it out in a second. All right. So into the bag, make sure you twist that tip closed, it doesn't start leaking on you. Before you're ready for it anyway. Alright, on the show. So, flat sheet tray, if you can find it, start in the middle with that circle. Get enough space so they can fall from the tip. Don't go so close to the parchment that you kind of squish it and flatten it. You gotta match up the pressure with the speed that you move the tip to. So you move it too fast, it'll kind of get narrow and thin out. And then here again, it falls from the tip, and then scrape the parchment. Straight as possible, even pressure, so it's an even width. You don't want any dog bones, they don't go and then like that. No. Try to keep it a little too bad too. Try to keep it even width. These won't spread a whole lot, so you get fairly close to the rest of them. But make sure that you draw a couple lines so you get that 3-inch length on them, because you want to trim a little bit of that off and still be tall enough to form the tiramisu. No, even though we had a slightly bigger piece, it's gonna bake at the same time, temp. It'll be done when these are done, so, and these won't burn now. There might be a very, very slight color difference, but they'll be done at the same time. Base. So I realize I'm getting short, so I'm gonna make these a little bit longer again. You guys have any other questions on these?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Tomorrow we'll have questions. For this one,
So these get dusted.
You do it in convection, but like I said, well, you've been missing from the room. It might be 4 or 5 minutes when they're done. The convection should be really quick in there. So these work just fine in regular oven too, conventional oven. Man, I'm gonna have extras. Which is better than not having enough, so make sure you take care of the aeration and get enough foam and volume on your batter that you don't have to worry about running out. And then the rest just kind of fit in where you can. No questions though, huh? You have enough fingers? Can you use 2 spirals? If you're good, yeah, but if you haven't done this before, I'd suggest not doing 2 spirals to start. If you don't have enough volume in your batter. Alright, that's enough. So, lots of So you'll make 2 passes basically. One's gonna soak in a little bit, and the second pass will stay on top. So pass those in. You get pretty close without touching the surface of the cake itself. Once coated, but not get everywhere. Right, Christy? Cocoa powder, Christy? Yes. Right, so I'll open this up and everything.
Looks like snow.
So I want to check that in 7. Any questions on those? When those come out, I'm going to store them in a paper clamshell in a Ziploc bag, which I forgot to grab mine, but it's basically a to-go container, one of the big size. We're going to layer the ladyfingers in that with the base in between pieces of parchment. The parchment could be the 6 squares you get out of a large piece of parchment when you're going to make cornets. Just don't make them triangles. Just chop the 6 squares up in your layers on the inside of the box. Store at room temp. So in that box, Ziploc, room temp. Make sure you label it, date it. You guys have any questions? Alright. So we got 3 and 4.